The officers of the Northern Ohio Chevelle Club include President Joe Desmont, Vice President Gerry Lorkowski, Treasurer Ken Smith, and Secretary Mark Meldrum.
That was going to be cool. Let's be the beer. Hey, Mark Meldrum from the Northern Ohio Chevelle Club, and we're out here at Joconuts. And we've been working on the Chevelle Club display this month, and we've been having a good time. We had quite a few members show up, but this is the intro to the March newsletter, so welcome, Joe, to your own bar.
No problem. Here we are at Joconuts. We getting ready to do the March newsletter, and there's all kinds of stuff going on.
I tell you, we got a lot of stuff in this newsletter.
A lot of stuff.
So coming up in this newsletter, Jeff Thompson's going to talk about his supercharging of his 67 Chevelle. And then Terry Davis is going to follow up. He's a new guy I found on YouTube, and he's going to talk about different things with supercharging LS motors.
And he's new to the, I think his first one was last month.
No, this
is his first one this month.
So welcome,
okay.
Terry.
Yeah, welcome,
thank you
Terry.
for coming.
And thank you for letting us share your videos. Very informative, does a nice job. I want to see Jeff Thompson do how he installed his seats.
It's going to be a little bit of that.
I like this plumb bob.
That was
For those of you who followed along on Facebook, Jeff put some new seats in his car as well. I think he got rid of the bench and went to bucket seats.
Yes, he did go to bucket seats. Fully adjustable, so Teresa can drive the car now. So that should be fun, seeing her drive the Chevelle around.
Yep.
And then, of course, we went bowling this last month, so we got some video on that. We've got Mel's Musings. We've got Gerry reading all the birthdays and anniversaries. And what else?
And on a somber note, the last week of February, Scott Miller from Pennsylvania, friend of the club, member. You guys remember he's got a beautiful Camaro. He's got a Pro Street, I believe it's a 66
Chevelle.
66 Chevelle. His mother passed away. Our condolences out to him on the passing of his mother. Scott, great guy. You know, he comes all the way from Pennsylvania to the parties.
Helps out when he can. So
helps out when he can. Great guy. Scott, our condolences from the Northern Ohio Chevelle Club. Godspeed to your mom.
So, here we go. I don't know what else we got to say, but...
on with the show.
On with the show. See ya. Good afternoon, Northern Ohio Chevelle Club. Here it is in the middle of February, and it's absolutely beautiful out. We spent the morning downtown Cleveland, went shopping at the West Side Market, went out to eat, took our exchange students downtown, went out to eat, and then we came back home, and it was 68 degrees outside. So I just couldn't resist the temptation of getting the old 72 convertible out and taking her for a ride. Started right up, no problems. I'm telling you, put racing fuel in these cars, and they'll start right up when you want them to after the winter. And I don't think we're done with winter, but it's certainly going to be a nice week this week. And why not get out and enjoy the car a little bit? I know the road's got a little salt on them, but I just couldn't resist the temptation of getting out and driving it around the block. Went over to Mike Ely's house. He had Rick Hurling over there, and they were working in Mike's Magic Garage. They were making magic happen with Chevelles like usual. He's working on the 70 LS6 Chevelle out there today, and they've got the 69 postcar that's still getting buttoned up. But what really was going on over there was Mike was putting the addition onto the garage and getting things organized over there. So tomorrow we're headed off to Pat O'Brien Chevrolet for a swap meet. So Larry, Denver, and myself have a little space over there. We'll set up and sell some parts. Hopefully put a little more cash in our pockets so we can buy more Chevelle parts. But just wanted to check in, say hello. I wish you a happy March that we're going into. I can't believe it, halfway through February here. And we got the Cleveland Autorama coming up, so we're looking forward to that. Been working with President Joe on signage for our display, and we'll talk about that a little bit in the video here. Can you believe President Joe went to Michigan to go ice fishing today? 68 degrees here in Ohio, and he goes to Michigan to go ice fishing. I don't know what he's thinking. But I hope he's having a good time. I hope the ice doesn't melt. Hope he catches some fish. And we'll get him on video so we can finish out our March video here. So we will see you.
Well, my 66 Chevelle I've had since January 1967. And I got the car from a gentleman that owned it. His dad bought it for him for his birthday, or not birthday, his graduation. And the kid didn't sideswipe the guy. A guy was crossing the street, ran into him and killed him. So the guy would never drive the car again. So I seen it sitting by this guy's house. Every time I went to work, so one day I stopped by, I said, hey, you want to sell the car? And he goes, no, he said, my son wants the car, but he won't drive it. So I go, okay. So every day I'd stop and ask this. Finally he broke down and said, yeah. So I bought it in January of '67. And it was perfect. I mean, there was nothing. It was absolutely perfect. Had 3,000 miles on it. The guy didn't barely drive the thing. But he hit the guy, killed him, and wouldn't touch the car. So anyways, I bought it. I drove it till March of 1968. And I got drafted. And I went to Vietnam in '68. '69 I come back. Spent the rest of '69 and '70 in Fort Hood, Texas for the rest of my tour. And when I came back to Cleveland after 1970, March of 1970, I went back to Euclid Manors, if you know everybody, any know where that is, in Euclid. Well, that's where we raced every night. I mean, all the Euclid Manors, we went from one to one every night, and that's what we did. Well, I went back there in my '59 El Camino. Somebody had an El Camino here.
Those are cool.
That I brought down, I bought it in Texas, and I drove that home. Anyways, I went there, and there was nothing there. There was nothing. There was family cars and people. I mean, there was no hot rods at all.
It was over that early.
It was done. There was nothing. It was just done. So I went, and I had the car put away. I never, ever drove it after that.
Wow.
It's still the way it was the day we raced when I left for Vietnam, and it's still sitting that way. But it's in very excellent condition. It's got a few nicks and things here from storage, but other than that, it's pretty much perfect.
Nice. Do you fire it up once in a while?
Every once in a while. 2 years ago, I fired it up and just brought it out and washed it off and put it back. But I have a '65 Chevelle Super Sport, big block. I got my '66. I got '69 Super Sport, orange with the black top. Everybody's familiar with that color. I got 470 Chevelles, all SS big blocks, 2 automatics and 2 4-speeds, and a '71 Chevelle that I've done for show, that I've painted for show. Then I got Corvettes. I got 2 Corvettes left out of several that I had, and I painted those and I put them in the car shows.
What years?
73 and an 80 that I have left. I sold my '66 a while back, and a couple of the other cars. I got a '69 Jaguar 2+2. I got a '66 GTO guy.
Cool.
And several other just random cars. '67 Chevy Biz Cane. It's got 5,000 miles on it. I've never drove that car with a big block in it. I don't know. I can't remember so many.
Dustin with his pro form, left-handed, and a 9 spot. Monica coming up the pole. Another fine showing at the North Ohio bowling out.
It's always fun to get together with everybody in the middle of winter and do a little bowling. So we did just that at Yorktown Lanes in Carmel, Ohio. We got about 6 lanes. Quite a few people were bowling. We had quite a few people just come and watch too. So had some nice pizza, had some fun bowling, had some fun catching up with everybody to see how the new year is going. And of course, we had our traditional 50-50 drawing, and just had a good time.
do it. That's how you do it, boys and girls.
I guess you got a strike.
Yes. Nice. We got the whole gang here. Star Brigade. Josh has got a GTO ball. This could be a problem. We got crocheting going on back here with Bev. Got Kenny back there. He's making sure our bowling's paid for today.
We got tickets to sell.
We got tickets to sell. What are we selling?
Gerry will be selling what Kenny said.
Oh, nice. Nice. We got to sell some Jan. We got Vi. Just come back from Las Vegas. She's a millionaire now. So
It's heavy.
wow, really heavy. She's probably going to buy a new Chevelle with it. Trade that convertible in. Gerry. Hey, how you doing, Mark? Very good. So Jeff Thompson always says you don't have enough enthusiasm in your birthdays. What do you got to say to Jeff?
I'm ready for another, Jeff. How you doing,
Now
buddy?
See, we should
There
get
you
him,
go.
We need to get him drinking before he does birthdays.
That's right. I was thinking about that yesterday. I think I will start drinking.
All right.
Cool.
Yes, you gotta push it hard. There you go. That's a nice one. That'll get some pants, baby. Alright. Nice job.
This now.
Shirley,
No,
going for a turkey. She started way far back this time. Whoa. See, now you started too far back.
I know.
That's too far
I
back.
got my walk on.
Oh. That's a bunch of poop. That's a bunch of poop.
Got her ball.
Here's the number, man. Jerry's got it. All right, you guys. Winning number.
I can't see. Where's your ticket?
Winning number is 228-548. 228-548.
Seriously?
Got it?
Oh!
Winning number gets $67.
Woo!
Pat's got it. Congratulations, Pat. There you go.
Thank you.
Good job.
Wow.
Show me the money.
From the Mind of Jeff by Jeff Thompson.
Hello, Northern Ohio Chevelle Club peeps. This is your old pal Jeff Thompson, brought to you live from the Mind of Jeff in his garage. Kind of give you a short story of what's going on with my car this winter. Also, this young man that Mark might be putting on here on the newsletter, I'll show you some stuff that he might be into. But I took the old bench out of my car, and the reason I did that was I built put up this hump mower to clear my transmission. I was chasing some vibrations up at 80 mile an hour or so. So I raised the transmission up in the car. So I went and bought these Pro Car seats, which I found a smoking deal at Speedway Motors. So I took the bench seat out of the car. I'm not sure, I love my bench seat. But these things they lay back, they go all the way forward, they go all the way up. Teresa will be able to drive the car again. So we get on road trips, we'll be good. A lot more involved than this, what I'm going to show you. But this is just a start. I made some brackets, 1/4-inch angle iron out of the floor. The whole bottom of the seat I redone as far as to make them work. But this is what I want to show you. Earlier this year, before the winter set in, I put a supercharger on my car. This supercharger's come off an LSA Cadillac. I'm not sure what year, 2010 to 2016 anymore, but this one I think is like a 14 or 15. The one thing about these is straight inside here there's an isolator, and these isolators have to be changed, otherwise they'll sit there and they'll wear out and they'll start knocking. So anything that you buy on eBay or anything used, be very careful on who you buy it from, because if that isolator is bad, it is quite a job to get fixed. The green belt is a non-slip belt, so when you start getting up and boosting these things, they don't stretch as bad, and so there you won't lose your boost. But like I said, typically this motor come out at 10 3/4 to 1. It's a 2014, come out of an SS sedan car. So you figure 10 3/4 to 1, and then you put a supercharger on it. This compression, this motor under boost, is boosting probably close to 14.5, 15 to 1 compression. Now I'm running 93 octane gas. Now you do the math. So we've got to get rid of some boost somewhere. We got to get rid of some pressure somewhere. And that's where the camshaft and the heads and stuff like that come in too. So the camshaft I put in this thing many years ago, I knew I was going to go boost at some point, whether it was supercharger or turbo. I elected not to do the turbo because the supercharger just comes in right now. And I didn't really want all these pipes and stuff anymore, and I have to. But there's a couple things that you have to do, when you run the supercharger in these cars. Number one, you have to cool it down. Now, these superchargers get hot. It's a root style supercharger, and when they spin, they get hot. And with these systems, the way they're designed, you see that the plumbing, of course, there's the regular heater hoses. The lines coming out, there's the fill on that side, which has got to be higher than the top of the hat on these superchargers. You've got to run a dual bypass, otherwise you got to have a return line, and then you got to have a boost reference regulator. So that regulator will flow all kinds of fuel as the boost comes up. Now this motor is really detuned, and when I mean you're going to laugh, detuned. Dyno sheets are in the car. We made as much as 580 horsepower to the rear wheels, and then we started backing it down because these motors safely will go 650 on the motor, not at the wheels. So I'm pushing that right now. So I've got to detune quite a bit. This supercharger with the right pulleys and stuff will go in excess of 1,000 horsepower to the rear wheels. So, but I'm not looking at that. I've never had a supercharger in my life. I've always liked superchargers, so I decided to do it on this thing. But anyhow, you got the coolant lines that comes out of the back of the supercharger. The top one's hot, the bottom one's cold. So it'll go back into here. It'll come into the side of the radiator. You can see the hose I've got plumbed in right there. It almost looks like an evaporator for an air conditioning, but it's a dual bypass heat exchanger. So it comes there, and I had to get rid of my locking mechanism down at the bottom because it's just way too tight. Whole front end of the car has to come off, to put this stuff on here. So anyhow, it goes to the top, it comes out the bottom, comes out to the bottom down there. You can see where I got the lines going, and I'm heading to the back of the car. A lot of these guys put their coolant bottles and stuff in the front, and all it does is collect heat from the motor, and it just heats up, and then your IATs, your intake temperatures, will go sky high. Then you'll start pulling timing, and then you'll start pulling boost. All these lines, everything had to be rerouted in the car. It's actually quite a job, but it was kind of a fun job actually, because it's something I've never done before, and I've always wanted to learn. Anyhow, coming through here, you're coming to the left. Down inside here, I actually got a 4.5, 5 inch air tube that's going to bring fresh air from the outside of the car. It's a bunch of PV systems. It's a pretty neat deal that I made there. I've never seen it done. Maybe other people start copying stuff. Who knows? Anyhow, I'm taking that line 18 feet to 20 feet straight to the back of the car. And we go to the back of the car. Here's my pretty house, pretty garage, mess. Beautiful sunshiny day in Ohio. Anyhow, going from that line, I'm going to come through the back of the trunk. And when I come through the back of the trunk, I've already come through that top of the rails on the frame, coming back this way with dash 12 or 3/4 heater hose, but I'm going to do something a little stronger because I don't want no vibrations when I get this thing out on the road. Also, when you do an LS project, you got to have a pump and a tank, or you can have a pump outside on the frame rails, but it's not nearly as efficient. So I took a rust-free car, I cut it up, I put a hinged trap door on the trunk. I can have this pump out of this trunk in 15 minutes. There again, I cut up a rust-free car, but it's my car, so I cut it up. Anyhow, so what I do is, this thing's going to be up on a pedestal. This is what they call an ice box. Inside this ice box is actually a pump. So inside this ice box, remember I'm coming through here. So I'm coming from the back of the motor to this fitting right here. So hot water coming out of that dual exchange evaporator is going to go in through here. It'll be into this storage tank called the ice box. And you can fill this full of ice or whatever you want to do and come back out here cold, actually colder than ambient temperature. And then back to the bottom part of the supercharger. Like I said, this puppy is going to be sitting up, probably in and around where the spare tire was going to be at, but I'm going to raise it up to get it away from that hump on that spare tire that you guys know about and girls know about. So, anyhow, this should be a good lead-in to that gentleman that talks a lot of LS stuff online. I don't post a lot of stuff. This is the first time that anybody has seen my car as far as motor-wise. I put little pictures out there here and there, but it's not that I was, wanting to surprise people, but this car, I got it out the other day with just the plain supercharger hooked up, nothing fancy at all, and at 50 miles an hour, in fourth gear, at 2,000 RPMs, I'd give it just a little bit of throttle, and the car jumped completely sideways. Now at 50, and we're not even talking about hammering it. We're not talking about wide open throttle. We're talking about complete sideways. The car went. Really, really got my attention quickly. And I said, well, maybe that was just a fluke. Something was wrong. And I did it again a little bit later, and it was even crazier. So this puppy's got some horsepower. Now, granted, the streets are cold, the tires are cold, and stuff like that. But anyhow, from the mind of Jeff, something serious this time. So if you see this old green 67 on the road somewhere, which you'll see it around, I built them to drive. Yeah, these lines, it goes in the back of the supercharger that I was talking about. Right there. Anyhow, you see this old green 67, you're not going to hear it. Oh, by the way, with 2.5-inch exhaust on this car, I lost almost 3/10 at the racetrack. As soon as I opened up the collectors on the car, this thing just come alive. It's unreal. So there is something about 3-inch exhaust versus 2.5, but I chose a 2.5 just because I want quiet. When I want to cruise, I want quiet. Also, I'm gonna probably end up putting a console in the car just because I want something to put my hand on. Anyhow, I've been rambling long enough. Mark, you edit this wherever you want to edit it to. Y'all have a good time. Peace out. See ya.
What's up, my LS crazies amigos? It's your boy Terry speaking from the garage shop once again. Here to offer you some more big bang for the buck product and info. What's happening? What do you guys looking? Oh, this? Let's just say this got a little out of control, my 67 Chevelle. Let's just say it got a little out of control. But now we're not going to talk about this. What we're going to talk about today, we're going to do a video on this soon, so stay tuned for that. What we're going to talk about today is LSA superchargers. Now, if you don't know what an LSA supercharger is, an LSA supercharger was a supercharger that came stock from GM on D-Series Cadillacs and ZL1 Camaros. And it's beautiful. And there was a big recall, and that recall could work in your advantage. I'm going to tell you exactly how. So let's go to the part of the garage shop where I keep all my parts, and I'll explain. out of control. This is the bottom half of a Chevrolet or Cadillac LSA Supercharger that came on the B Series and the ZL1s. Now the beauty of this thing is it's self-contained, it's liquid cooled, and the problem with what happened with GM when they had to recall these things is they used a spring-loaded isolator. All right. Now, in theory, it's kind of cool because when you decelerate it or you accelerate, it doesn't, put too much of a strain on the lobes or whatever, which is a good idea. But the problem was people were dropping how much is a ZL1? I think it was like a $50,000-$60,000 car, and the Cadillac V Series was north of $70,000, $80,000. So people were dropping that type of heavy dough on cars, and like a couple weeks later, you would hear a whine. So that's why eventually GM said, you know what, let's recall all the superchargers back. So what they did was, instead of fixing it, which you can do very easily, they just took this whole piece off, replaced it with a new one with a solid isolator, and people went on their merry way. Put the top back on, and then went on their merry way. Then what happened is you have a whole bunch of these things laying around GM, and all you gotta do is get a few parts, and you got yourself a supercharged, engineered. Now remember, this was engineered for the LS3, for the LS engine, which is really cool. You're gonna need square port heads to work as a supercharger for the LS3. It's a great power adder, and the best part about it is that you could pick these things up off of eBay for about $400 or $500. But they're going up now. I've seen them somewhere, you can get them for about $400 or $500 if you're lucky at this point, but now they're going up to about $800 or $900. But even still at that price, it's not a bad deal because you buy this thing and you get a couple of other pieces. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a video, we're gonna put one on my 71 Chevelle. Now, I was fortunate enough to have a friend who had a whole bunch of them laying around and I picked them up. So if you can go around and you can get them, you should get them. Now, when you're picking one of these things up from off of eBay, it's kind of almost like a crapshoot, but chances are they're going to be pretty decent. But if you're fortunate enough to be in a spot where you are actually there before you buy it, you can touch the thing, you can examine it. These are things to look out for. You want to make sure this thing spins freely, all right? That there's no bind or crunch, all right? And you want to make sure that there's no play between the lobes. This looks like it's good. And you make sure the lobes spin and there's no bind or crunch or any type of thing stopping it from spinning freely. Now, if you feel, like I said, if you feel like a little bit of play here, that's going to be okay because that's the spring-loaded isolator and there's a little bit of play in it. And like I said, once you swap it out, that should go away. This is how you pull the snoot off. Now, I'm not gonna, there's two tabs right here. There's one on this side, on the passenger side, and one on the driver's side. All right. Now, you gotta get some type of crowbar or something to break it because I don't know what kind of mutant GM glue they use to attach the snoot to the body of this thing, but it is tight. So I tell you right now, you see this? Don't waste your time trying to use this. No. You need a Mac Daddy. I was able to pop this by myself, and what I did was I put one in this side, loosen the screws, pop. On that side, pop. Now, to break this bond that GM bestowed upon this unit, what you gotta do is you gotta use leverage. Now, this is where you're gonna put that crowbar or that breaker bar, whatever you need. You're gonna put it right in there. See that tab? This is on the driver's side. Put it right in there and pop it. And then you're gonna put on the driver's side, on the passenger side, you're gonna put it right in there. Let's see, right there. You see that? And pop it. All right. So let's look inside this thing. Okay. Now, this is the housing. All right. Now, what the spring-loaded isolator is this thing right here. Let me see if I can pull it out. There it is right here. You see this? Let's go up close. This is the spring-loaded isolator that GM used, all right? And like I said, in theory, it's kind of cool because when your car accelerates, it doesn't put too much of a load on the supercharger, and when it decelerates, it kind of cushions it a little bit. But like I said, people spending like however many tens of thousands of dollars on a brand new car, and you hear a whine, and it also ruins the little part of the supercharger right here, the little, I don't know what this thing is called, but it ruins it. You can even see like this indentation, you see, right there? That's where the inside of the spring started eating away at this little shaft. Now, there's a lot of companies out there that have a fix for it, but I went with my good friends at Medco because, like I said, they've been strong and solid with building parts for the LS conversions, and they came through again. They make a solid isolator. You know, you could just put it right in there, boom, put this thing back in, your problem solved. You're ready to rock and roll, all right? Now, I'm not gonna make it sound, like I said, I'm not gonna make it sound like, you know, all you gotta do is do this, and, you know, I mean, you gotta make sure that your supercharger is in working order, that your lobes aren't messed up or anything like that, you know, and, you know, it would be good to get it serviced, of course, but, I mean, like I said, for about $2,000, $2,500, you can supercharge your car, and like I said, you have no limits with this thing. You depend on how far you want to go. If you want to go meth injection and get a smaller pulley, whatever, you can do that. And these things are great. And like I said, I got a couple of them, and I'm gonna do a video, putting one on and showing you guys how to hook it up on my 71 Chevelle, my little workhorse, and we'll see where it goes from there. But that's what the LSA Supercharger is all about. I can't wait to start on this, and I'm looking forward to this one. You see how, you know, because we're gonna get it dynoed and everything, and we're gonna see how much horsepower this thing is pushing. Now, looking at the clock on the wall, or should I say ceiling, it's time for me to head on off and do some more tweaking to this car, because eventually we'll put an LSA blower in this thing as well. And so what I want to do is say thank you for everyone who's been showing love, asking the questions, and giving me all kinds of support for doing these LSA videos. And, you know, like, I'm having a good time, and I'm glad that you guys are enjoying them. All right. Now, if you have a question, don't hesitate, please. You know how to reach me. I'm not a hard person to find. All right. But for now, please always be easy, and I will catch you guys real soon. Take care.
This is Melanie Bender.
Hi, it's Melanie Bender, and you're about to read Mel's Musings.
VP report by Gerry Lorkowski.
Hey everybody, VP Gerry here with our March birthdays. We've had an awesome week here for February. Beautiful weather. March is here, so looking forward to spring. On to our birthdays. On the 1st we have Nancy Goldstein. On the 5th we have Lori Kovac. On the 10th we have Marge Crabtree. On the 11th we have Kellen McDivitt. On the 13th we have Chris Knavel. On the 14th we have Michael Stevens. On the 15th we have Beverly Doyle. On the 17th we have Colleen Desmont and Tom Atziger. On the 19th we have Ed Franciscovic. On the 24th we have Tom Reitler. On the 26th we have Gary Webb. And on the 30th we have Amy Dorr. The March anniversaries are on the 22nd, we have Tony and Judy Lorkowski. Happy anniversary, Mom and Dad. On the 25th, Randy and Karen Taylor. On the 26th, Bob and Patty Stumpf. And on the 30th, Joe and Colleen Desmond. Everyone here at NOCC would like to wish everyone a happy birthday and a happy anniversary. We hope you enjoy your day and enjoy the month. Until next time, we'll see you.
And that wraps up this month's newsletter. On behalf of the Northern Ohio Chevelle Club, thank you for watching. See you next month.